Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Think that my biggest fear happened this morning, which is usually I'm not afraid of my browser history. Like, I've just accepted, right, my digital footprint a long time ago. I did Google something this morning, though, that did make me fear that, like, if I did drop dead this morning, that my digital footprint would scare me, which is my Sonicare toothbrush haunted?
Oh, that's fun.
And it did take me to a section of Reddit that I'm always glad that I'm not the first person with this problem. Yeah. But it did make me wonder that, like, if someone was looking at my internet history, they'd be like, damn, every day, like, every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., this woman looks for very specific Vampire Diaries fanfiction. That's weird. It's a weird timing that this person has. And then, like, normal stuff about, like, Real Housewives and, like, Bravo stuff. Weird. Okay. And then, there's a very interesting rabbit hole about their toothbrush and the history there. Yeah. Has that ever happened to you? Is your electric toothbrush randomly haunted? And also, how do you fix it? Do you call Zach Bagans?
Right. I guess, like, you would probably need, like, a tech-focused exorcist, right? Like, that's kind of a hard overlap. Because exorcism famously is esoteric a little bit, but with technology which can be haunted, I think you gotta call someone, you know? Like, do the Ghostbusters care? Like, is that in part of their purview?
Well, and that's the thing, right? Like, usually I associate that with, like, things that would harbor energy, like thrift store items, right?
Yeah.
But I did not buy a used toothbrush.
Right. It didn't have, like, previous lore.
Right.
Like, of someone else's, like, haunted teeth. Yeah.
And, like, assuming, right, that there were people and companies that it went through to be created, right? I'm not under the assumption that this just, like, came from thin air. Yeah. But I do currently have it sitting in rice with some of my crystals to, like, remove any of it haunted energy. Sure. But the fact that I woke up at 2 a.m. in the dead sleep, because it was attached to its charger, because every Friday it does get charged. Sure. And it was just buzzing on the charger. Was just a weird way to be woken up.
Yeah. It's like, hello, wanna brush those choppers? Let's go. That's fine. What? That's crazy.
My question, though, is, like, you know, we do talk a lot about cryptids on this show. Is my Sonicare toothbrush a new cryptid? Like, is it trying to pivot onto the show?
Sure, it's trying to get a spot. Yeah, okay.
Anyways, welcome to Into Twilight. I'm tired.
Yeah.
And also a little bit scared of the toothbrush that I have.
And possibly dealing with a haunted, spoopy toothbrush.
Yeah, I might need to go on TaskRabbit and find someone to do an exorcism on my electric toothbrush.
Electric toothbrush exorcism. There's a demon or something in here. Let him out.
Yeah. Is it like the demon of the cavities I'm trying to prevent?
Right.
Help me, please.
What does this mean? Should I be scared? Because I already am. It's too late.
Too late. I'm already really scared. Fuck, dude. It's just like I'm already dealing with enough, you know? I don't...
Life is already so tough. Do I need to deal with a haunted electric toothbrush?
What do I need to be worried about next? Like, next week I'm going to tell you that my fucking, like, air fryer is going to start shaking. Like, I don't need this, okay? How are you?
I'm here. I'm living. I am not being haunted by my technology yet.
Count your fucking blessings,
yeah, there's,
dude.
You know, there's always time, you know. Hey, we're here.
I mean, knock on wood, you know?
Right.
It might knock back.
Yeah, I'm going to start kissing all of my appliances so they know I love them and don't mean them any harm. That's the move.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about a show. Whoa. Surprise.
Shocker.
Surprise. Everybody clap. Everybody give me a little clap. And I think I've talked about the first season of this a while ago. But I want to talk about Trixie Motel. Because she's back.
Okay.
And it was previously the first season was like a couple years ago, and it was the like construction, like an HGTV style, like let's make this motel fancy and like a drag queen, and will be like a gay Palm Springs situation, and it was fun. And I was like, okay, work, love it. That was fun. Good brain smoothing, love it. And then they just came back with a whole new season that is them just like buying and remodeling their own house to live in. So it's like the stakes are different. Everything's like, whoa, this is not like something for, public consumption. It is like buying a home, their first time like living together, which is wild. And like buying a home and like redoing a bunch of stuff in it. But they have like a lot of fun rotating. There's a Property Brothers jump scare. That was fun for me.
Oh no.
Christine Quinn from originally Selling Sunset, now whatever she's doing, was there. But it's very fun. It's very cute. Like their relationship is very cute. So like I like seeing them do little projects together. And it's also very sweet because it's like, for Trixie, it's like, okay, I want to have like all my drag stuff just like in this condo that I've already been living in. Like that's just the only place that exists. And like having the home being like, this is like for us and like our real lives and like not like our jobs and stuff, and being like, how do I wear boy clothes? I need to like go shopping with Orville Peck and get some fun little wares and like relearn stuff about themselves. And it's very cute. There's some really sweet moments in addition to just like, let's break some walls into a house that's old. And
was this done and filmed in the last like 4 years?
Yeah, I think it was like probably a year or two would be filmed.
Does Trixie scream at some point about the cost of lumber?
Yeah. Honestly, I would imagine. So, yeah, and there's also like a lot of fun structural issues that like they were not told beforehand, and so they're like, uh-oh, we have to fix, homeowner shit. And it's like, I do not envy that. No, thank you. That sucks. And like redoing a bunch of shit they thought was fine, and it was like, but it's very fun. There's like some fun little moments. It's cute. It's good. Just like easy breezy.
The older I've gotten, the more that I enjoy watching homeowner like HGTV stuff.
Yeah.
But the more I realize that I don't like the fixing of home stuff that comes with homes.
Yeah. Like that's gonna be on me? Ooh. No thank you.
The idea of like every weekend you have to continually fix stuff.
Yeah, that's my
and
nightmare.
It just costs money.
Yeah.
Ugh.
No thanks. Forever?
What?
Like
Where's
in
that
perpetuity?
money
Like all forever? Like
where's that money coming from?
Yeah.
No. That was probably a little bit easier when back when it was my parents' age and a house cost $100,000.
Yeah, Jesus. Yeah.
So I'll just watch it and pretend instead.
Right, yeah. It's like, hey, none of us are going to have homes,
Right.
Like, we're not going to own property. But it is fun to watch. And it's a good time.
Yeah, especially with those aesthetics. That sounds lovely.
Right, yeah. It's like, okay, let's just get pink everywhere. I love it. Let's just make a gay house. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
I love a gay house. That sounds beautiful.
How are you doing, my friend?
I'm alive, that's for sure. I am very excited to talk about my happy thing with you. My first update is that I'm caught up on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Fuck, yes. That was impressive. Incredibly impressive.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad you're here.
So, I have now moved on to Vanderpump Rules.
Oh gosh, yeah.
The first observation is that Real Housewives is stressful to watch.
Yeah.
But I do find enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And in a way, it feels like hanging out with the gals. Vanderpump Rules raises my blood pressure.
Yeah.
In a more, and also in a different way than Real Housewives does. And I think the main reason is because of the boys.
Yeah, there's
It's
some
just
real
so aggro.
stinkers in there.
Not only because they're they're shitty dudes, but it's just aggro in a different way than Real Housewives is, I think. But I can't turn it off is the problem.
Yeah.
I will say, because I had a primary question when I was watching Beverly Hills about it. If I could go back in time, I would have started watching it more like a side by side. I would have watched it more concurrently.
Sure. Yeah.
But that's okay. I didn't know. So my specific happy thing about Vanderpump Rules is this moment that I've shared with you.
Yes.
In this TikTok. So I am aware, very vaguely, of last year there was a thing that happened with, I think it was called Scandival. I know that it revolves around Tom. I didn't know that there were two Toms until I started watching.
Isn't that fucked up?
It's really fucked up. It's really fucked up that I didn't know and that there was two Toms that were apparently implicated. Now I know that it's Tom Sandoval. Yeah. The moment that I'm bringing for you, though, is from Ariana, the 30th birthday party. So, which first of all was a beautiful Have you watched this, by the way?
No. So this is the one thing I'm like, it's
can't,
not my,
it's
my truth.
If you I know that you watched Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
This, it's that juice, right?
Okay.
It's that, it reminds me of, when I first started it, it reminded me of The Hills. In the sense that, every episode is just at 100.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Everything, none of their brains are developed. Everyone is just sucking and fucking and fighting each other. Because they're all at a restaurant, right?
Sure.
So everyone is together.
Yeah.
I can't recommend it enough. It's such an easy watch. And every episode, I put it on in the background, but sometimes I'm like, oh my God. You know what I mean? The way that I imagine it for you is that it's very easy debrief stuff with you and Nicole to be like, are you fucking kidding? Like, I can't believe this person did it. Anyways, this moment happened between fuckface Tom, one of the Toms,
sure,
but who was involved in the shit that apparently happened last year, and Ariana at her 30th birthday party. An important thing to know about this context is that, Ariana is hides her feelings, and her dad died 2 years ago, and so now she's having all of these monumental life events, and her dad's not there.
Gotcha.
But she has this really dope birthday party where all of these kids things are happening, and Tom, who already has cheated on multiple partners, is she keeps telling him I don't want you to go to Vegas with the boys. And he's like, yeah, babe, totally, whatever. I'm always here for you. Yeah. Here's the problem. Our manager at this restaurant wants us all to go. He just told me that... we're going to be going to this dig site in Vegas, and we're all going to be able to get on all these, bulldozers and dig up stuff. And I, have to go there.
Out of all the reasons. Being I hear you. I definitely want to be here for you and show up for you. But have you considered that I could dig some big holes?
Babe,
with the boys?
We're going to be able to play with toys.
Yeah, that's actually huge for me, and you know that. You've known I've always wanted to do that, and it's actually kind of rude that you're not letting me go. And I'm just going to go now.
And she's crying because her dad,
right,
who just died like 2 years ago, right? And she's like, she's not necessarily crying because he's leaving. She's crying because her dad's not there, and she just wants someone to support her.
Yeah.
And all he can think about is like, fuck, I want to get on this bulldozer and go dig up dirt so bad. It's just...
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. To be fair, that sounds cool as fuck.
Right. I mean, in its defense, that is cool.
And when they do go, it is cool as fuck. But
worth it.
It's just... Oh my god. I can't... It's just such a bad... All of these people are so bad because they work at a restaurant and they're all like... They all want to be models and actors, and they're like...
Sure.
Fuck this job. Like, yeah. I just need to do this to pay the bills. It's so good, though. It reminds me of... like Homeboy Wore Cowboy Boots to the Beach. Every episode is that. And that's why it's like, I can't handle this. Yeah. So it's my happy thing, but it's also like, I'm so glad that I don't work retail anymore, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So anyways, I will keep you updated on Vanderpump Rules. I just can't believe that Tom and Ariana have been together this long and are but last year there was a thing. I'm nervous is the TLDR.
Yeah. It's like you ain't seen nothing yet. You got a big storm
Apparently.
coming. You got a big storm coming.
Apparently. I'm just watching this car crash in slow motion, which makes me really nervous.
Yeah. Oh no.
One of our current events is your second happy thing this week. Right? Do you want to tell the class?
I don't think I would call this a happy thing. I am very conflicted on this news.
Okay.
But welcome back to Aaaaand's corner. That's not a corner. We don't have a corner for him. He's just here. He's just always in the ether.
He's always here.
Yeah.
He's always here, but he is in the corner, though, is the thing.
Right. We just got him in a little cage, and he's just hanging out. Getting some snacks, you know? We have some news from the Hollywood Reporter, casting news, that Robert Pattinson is potentially producing and potentially even starring in a remake of Possession, which, if you are unfamiliar, is one of the best movies literally ever made. Very scary, sometimes very hard to come across because of, you know, streaming restrictions and other things.
Yeah.
Which is annoying, but, you know, you see it when you see it. And so this is, like, already, like, interesting, because you know, do you gotta remake a very good movie, you know, all the time? Like, right. Is that what we're doing now? But on the other hand, Suspiria slaps. Like, so there's precedent. Although
we still need to... I still need to watch.
We still need to do that for a bonus, for sure. I continue to forget that. That is on the books. Yeah. So, like, there is precedent. But on the other hand, will it?
New content.
Right. Will it? You know, will it be good? You know, who can say?
So many execs right now are like, what if we just make the stuff that we liked when we were kids?
Right. What if we just do that again, because the kids now have not seen it and they won't see it, so what if we make it new? Because no streaming service is anything before 1995. They'll never know. They'll never know that was a movie that ever existed.
If we just keep Spice World locked behind it and never put it on streaming, we can just make a new Spice World.
Right, yeah. We could just keep doing this every, 20, 30 years, and no one will be the wiser, because we control the streaming services and also now own the movie theaters. Awesome. Cool.
Great. There's no foreseeable problems with this.
Yeah, I feel great about this.
I own all the money, so I feel great.
Yeah. But I am, like... cautiously, I'm very interested, obviously, but I'm cautiously like, okay, sure. And I never saw Smile. People said it was good.
People said it was very fucked up.
Yeah, people were saying it was fucked up for sure. I'll be seated if it happens. I want
sure.
What's going on?
The idea of Robert being in this very much piques my interest.
Yeah.
Because him, whenever he's been allowed to play something spoopy,
Right.
he does so well.
Right, like, he is incredible at going sicko mode. So, like, I do have... And that is so much of possession, is just going sicko mode.
Plus, I feel like anytime Robert sees anything about, like, tentacled aliens and doppelgangers, he's like, absolutely, yes, say no more.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. I just... I opened the website for Robert's production company, and it has the scariest sound, so, and lights going on. So a little bit of a seizure warning there if you're clicking around.
Robert, why do you want me to die?
Right. Come on, man. Be cool.
Here's the thing. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I like horror. Mm-hmm. I like it when it's done well.
Yeah.
Do we always need to do remakes?
Right.
That's my question.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think it's a fair question.
But these two have done sicko before.
Right.
And I think they can do sicko well.
Yeah, I have faith in this, collaboration of sickos,
So I'm tentatively interested. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Both of them, I will say, Rob and Kristen, booked and busy.
Yeah, for
These
real.
two.
They are snatching projects left and right.
So proud of them. I was expecting this episode today of Crying Wolf to be a filler episode.
Yeah.
I was like emotionally went into it after last week being emotionally devastating. And then I was wrong.
Yeah,
and
there was a lot going on here.
And there was no necessarily any precedent for me to think that this was going to be a filler episode. I had just assumed.
Sure.
Of like, we've gotten so many heavy episodes in a row. I was like, we're bound to have a filler episode at some point.
Surely
right?
we can let up the gas on here and
right?
just have a chill 42 minutes of,
we're gonna have
gabbing.
We're just gonna put this on cruise control.
Yeah. Like, let Damon queen out a little bit. Like, let's just everyone go to school, work their jobs, go to a parade, just like classic fun stuff.
I mean, last week Jules and her crew almost killed Caroline.
Right.
The witch dad was like, get out of town. So I thought like we were going to have a little bit of a breather. And then I was wrong. Then I was wrong.
They're like,
Stevie
you thought
like,
we would let up?
Let's kill him. No. No, absolutely not. How did Crying Wolf do you?
Tyler is growing on me. I'll say that as a character.
I cried about Tyler this episode.
Yeah, like I was moved, and I was like, okay, all right, you're in the building. I appreciate that.
That surprised me the most this episode.
Mm-hmm. Right, and like this whole time, he's like, okay, I'm gonna be with my crew, my tribe, my real ones, my fellow werewolves.
Stephen and Mel,
right,
I'm with him.
The most trustworthy people on the planet who have never stirred me wrong before and definitely are telling me all of the information I need to have. Like, I feel good about
Stevie, we never saw him last episode. I'm with him.
Right,
actually.
yeah. Yeah, that's actually my best friend, so how dare you. Don't even try to come for me and my friends.
It hurt me so bad that after last week, I mean, I knew, right? I knew that Jules was kind of giving him the ultimatum.
Yeah.
But it hurt me still that Tyler was taking the alliance with Tyler, or that Tyler was taking the alliance with Jules. And then even after that moment at the end.
Yeah.
When he found out about what they were going to do to Elena, he still went with Jules.
Yeah. Like, we had all this...
What else was he going to do?
Yeah.
But, like...
and it's also still, like, it feels very, like, intentionally misleading on his part with everyone around him, of being, like, his whole thing is, like, he doesn't want to do this anymore, right? He doesn't want to be a werewolf.
Yeah.
This fucking sucks.
He didn't ask for this.
He didn't choose this life, and is trying to find any way out of this. And it, like, coincides with this whole larger, like, okay, we're gonna sacrifice Elena any day now. This is gonna happen. Get ready. And now everyone wants it for their own different reasons.
Right.
Or to, like, you know, break whatever curse is plaguing all these different teams of supernatural creatures. And being like, okay, well, buddy, what if we tell you that, like, you could just choose to not do this if we just do this one little thing. We won't tell you what it is, though. We just need this special super stone that you have, that you know where it is. And that's it. And it will be so good. We'll be best friends forever. And he's like, for sure, totally, got it, yes. That sounds great. And it's like, uh-oh, what if Elena has to die, though? Ooh, did I forget to say that? Ooh, yikes.
Ooh, whoops.
You didn't even really like her that much anyway, right? So, like, it's fine. You know, who cares?
Yeah.
And still being like, oh shit, like, had this realization of, like, I fucked up, I goofed it, I didn't realize all of the information here, but still, kind of don't trust all y'all at all, and I don't think anyone here is gonna help me, and also I'm really sad about, you know, Carolyn and our, you know, depleting relationship, and she was there for me, and I was not in the way that she was, and being like, I gotta go, I gotta roll.
What makes me this most sad about Tyler, I think, is very similarly to last season with Caroline.
Yeah.
He's still being played as a one-note character, like a flat character.
Yeah.
The person who's manipulating him moved from his dad to Mason temporarily, and now Jules. And what I think would be most beneficial for his character is if he had time away,
Yeah.
and a lot of therapy, to realize that he, like, doesn't need someone to manipulate him, but he hasn't had that yet. So instead of being able to listen and trust his own voice, he's still listening to that, like, adult. The problem is I don't think that the writers are going to let that breathe enough, and they're going to kill him off instead. Yeah.
Like, he can't
Which
just
sucks.
remove himself from the situation for a good reason. Like, they're like, oh, what if that means you're dead now to us and to everyone? Like, oh, you can't make a healthy choice that's maybe like, hey, I probably shouldn't be here right now because I'm not feeling great about everything that's going on with my life.
And it's sad that the first time I've really... Well, I would say that this season, the times that I've felt emotion for Tyler have been when he's in really tragic experiences. Yeah. Like, I think about when his dad, you know, like, slapped the shit out of him when he was fighting with Jeremy last season. I think about when he was looking at Mason's video footage. And then now, like, this episode, I got really emotional when he was leaving that letter for his mom, and I went to the worst case scenario. I thought he was going to finally take fate into his own hands. But I don't know that he knows how to do that now that he's not human. Yeah. Which is sad in itself, but then I don't know that he feels like he has control anymore, so he's still under Jules' control. But none of that is necessarily Tyler so much as it's just tragic. Yeah. Which is a shame. But it reminds me a lot of how I felt about Jeremy in the first episode. Yeah, totally. Of just seeing the writing on the wall.
Yeah, for sure. Very, like,
tragic, like, hero. Yeah, but whereas Jeremy, I'm very grateful to have been wrong. It feels now even more so that, like, Tyler's fate is set. Yeah. And that sucks. Yeah. Because now I actually kind of, like, care. Yeah.
I started caring about this guy. What the fuck, man?
Yeah, which is a bummer. I will say he did have some funny moments this episode. Just because he's ignorant. It's not his fault, right? Because he's still really young. Yeah. But the moments where he was like, wait, that's not Kathy. Like, I've known Elena. I've known Elena my whole life. And then him, just that moment, like right before Elena hugged him, of just finally breaking down, of like, I don't want to be like this anymore. Yeah. That's when I was like, dude, Stefan has been nothing but good to you. It would be very easy right now to just kind of like take asylum with them. Yeah. But I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of naturally learned helplessness. Yeah, for him.
Sure. There were actually quite a few funny moments in this episode that I was not expecting.
Oh my god,
there was a lot of bummer material for sure. But particularly everything that happens when Elena and Stefan have their romantic getaway was some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Like starting off with her being like, him being like trapped outside and her being like, oh, sorry, I forgot. Like, they didn't give me this house. This is my house, so I can't let you in. That's so I'm so sorry. That's so bad for you.
You gotta go ask John if you can come in. So sorry.
Yeah, you gotta get permission from John to enter the home. And he's like, I'm gonna kill you. Like, what the fuck? And it was so, I'm like, I never get to see Elena have fun anymore. So that was nice. I like that she was just razzing him a little bit. That was very good. And also, he like puts, and also before that, like, they're looking through, there's a bunch of Elena's mom's stuff in there, and she was like, oh, you know, Jenna was supposed to, like, pack all this up, but she's been putting it off. Which leads me, again, to what the fuck is Jenna up to? If she's not, like, packing up this room, no idea. I don't know, like, what is she doing? Why is she's never at home, she's never at this home, like, what is she's just with Rick 24/7, like, what is happening? I'm confused.
I feel like it's not even going to come out at some point that, like, Isabel has been, like, compelling her to do something. I feel like it's just the writers trying to get her out of the situation.
It's like, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to give you nothing.
Yeah.
Also, an incredible line read was when Stefan puts on Elena's dead great-granddad's jacket.
Oh, no.
And she was like, you look hot. He's like, I look hot in your dead great-granddad's jacket. And she says, extremely hot. That was just really special. That was incredibly special to me. This is the most chemistry they've ever had with each other. And it's about how horny she is that he's wearing her dead great-granddad's jacket.
I was surprised, and I think it had a lot to do with the fact that she was drinking wine.
Sure, right? Yeah, she was a little loosey-goosey.
In her system.
Yeah.
But I was surprised how quickly she loosened up when they, not even implied, but they said when they were driving up that this was the last place that she was at with her parents before they died. Right. And I was like, girl, you feel down to fuck your boyfriend in the last place that your parents were? All right.
Okay. Listen, to each their own. We all deal with trauma and grief in our own ways. You know?
Very different ways, yeah. But she did say also that, like, this is a house that had a lot of happy memories. Yeah. So, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Plus, that house was gorgeous.
It was really pretty. Yeah. It's nice.
Listen, I get it. I was very interested in, because at first I was like, why the fuck are Stefan and Elena going away right now, right? And then it made sense how the werewolves were going to use this as a trap, because Tyler just completely used his football skills to body Caroline in the grill.
Right.
To steal her phone, which was, it shouldn't have been funny, but it was funny. Thankfully, she's a vampire now, so, like, it didn't impact her.
Right,
but
she's strong and tough now. She's good. She can handle it.
Christ.
It's a little rude, if anything, but she's fine. Like,
it's so rude. I know Matt's, like, mad at her, but I'm surprised he wasn't like, dude.
Yeah.
And even as a vampire, it knocked her down. It's like, Jesus. But it made sense then how it was like, okay, we're going to split them up and trap them there. But I was also really interested how they used that scene of them being at the lake house, and then also with Tyler, talk a lot about mortality in this episode, because the moment when Elena is like wrapped up in the blanket, like very lake house moment, right? Talking about her future, I was really interested in what Stefan was going to say about, because he was very interested in like, oh, I actually do want to talk about our future.
Yeah.
He's never said, like, is he fine with Elena living out her life?
Yeah.
And dying? Or does he want to change her at some point? And I was like, are we going to talk about that at some point? Like, what the fuck?
I feel like this is Elena, important to know at some point.
Yeah, like, that's going to be the talk, right? But Elena didn't want to talk about it. Yeah. And he brings that up later on at the end of the episode. He's fully pissed.
Yeah. And also, like, surprised, which I was like, buddy, like, you know.
Why are you so surprised about everything, Stefan? You never think.
Right, yeah, you've never used your brain once, you or your brother. Like, you know, it's just some gumballs rolling around in there, bopping and stuff. Like,
you know what? That's so true. We always dog on Jenna, because she's never doing anything. But these two,
yeah. Oh,
every episue, get their house broken into.
Right. Right. They're not very proactive.
So what are they doing?
Yeah, there are a few people that are using their heads in this town, which is unfortunate. But it's also like Elena has always had a death wish a little bit, right? Like that's kind of clear.
We talked on Jeremy this episode for an emo phase. Homegirl has never left her emo phase.
Yeah, she is still, you know, writing in her journal at the cemetery in her heart, like in her heart of hearts, like that is where she is all the time. It's only because she was
Stephanie,
forced to leave because people
her?
thought that she was too much of a downer that she truly physically left, but she's always mentally still been in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this whole thing is like, if it's gonna be, you know, me versus everyone I've ever loved and cared about, that's the vibe. And he's like, that's silly. Like, you're just trying to be a martyr. And it's like, okay, yes, that is kind of what she's doing. But also, did you not put this together? This feels like this was... Because none of y'all have been thinking of alternate plans here. At least successful ones. Or ones that could also understand anything.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black, Mr. I have a rose tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, Mr. Like, I'm gonna go on a bender of stealing blood bags and be fully, like, uncontrollable of myself for, like, a hot minute, and everyone's really nervous about me, but I'm, like, so fine about it.
Yeah,
like,
why do you think that you two are in love with each other?
Yeah.
Mr.
The same
like,
coin.
you both are martyrs?
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, get out of here. Come on. But yeah, he was a little pissed. He's not feeling it. But hey.
It's so embarrassing. If he had known how the originals worked, right? If these two had done a lick of research, then he wouldn't have been surprised, because Elena very clearly said to him at the end, I know the deal I made, right? Like, Elijah's very careful with the words that he says.
Yeah, it's like asking for a genie. Like, you got to be incredibly specific, otherwise they will get you a new one. You'll end up with something you don't want.
Exactly. She asked that her friends were safe.
Yeah.
And yet, Damon and Stefan were shocked Pikachu when she knew that the curse would only be broken when she was still dead at the end.
Yeah. Maybe Stefan was like, oh, I just thought you were, like, practicing self-love because you see yourself as your own friend and you're putting yourself first, and I love that for you. And it's like, buddy, no. That's a very, like, specific phrasing I used.
Are you not immortal? This always goes back to, what the fuck was Rose's friend who had like 18 degrees? It's just like, oh, yeah. Where's that guy when we need him?
Yeah.
You know? Who's like well learned.
I miss him so much.
I miss him every day.
R.I.P.
He would have reminded them, you know, like, treat the originals like gins. You know, you have to be very careful with how you speak with them. Mm-hmm. Oh. How did you feel, by the way, about Jonathan Gilbert's, like, it wasn't even it wasn't even like a bunker basement, but his like vampire hidden room. Yeah, there's like, yeah, because like Stefan and Elena are getting a little saucy, getting a little steamy, and he's like, hold up, I smell something in the air. There's hollow wood. I must investigate. I must break down this wooden panel and see what's behind. And there's just like a bunch of weapons and like vampire hunting shit, which honestly serve. It's just like a true hound dog. Yeah. you know?
Listen, you're out here, you know, a little more remote area. Gotta protect yourself and your loved ones. Out in the middle of the woods or whatever. Fuck yeah.
I was really proud of her when she was fighting Brady, aka Stephen Amell, when she remembered to like go back down into that bunker.
Yeah.
To find those weapons. Stefan wouldn't have done
No.
that. I'll say that.
This is like my bare fists. I'm gonna do it. Let me at him. I can handle it.
She would have killed him. If you'd given her a little bit more time,
Yeah.
she would have been able to kill Brady.
Yeah, for sure.
I was really proud of her in that moment. I don't know why she thought taking off only one shirt would disguise her smell.
Right.
I thought she was going to add more of her, like, great-grandfather's jackets to disguise the smell. But you know what? She was in the moment.
Yeah, she was acting fast.
I'm not going to
Yeah.
I'm not going to knock her. I thought that she was doing great. How did you feel about the grill making blended coffee juice?
Yeah, we had a little like barista moment in there, and I was like, "What is the grill? Is so it is everything and is nothing, right? Like it's the most expansive menu and job."
I guess we don't know, right? If Mystic Falls has like a Starbucks.
Sure, yeah.
Or it has like a Dutch Bros equivalent.
Yeah, in my
So
mind,
maybe
it's like
they
the
have to
grill
work
is
with
the
what they
only
have.
restaurant that exists. It's the only one we see.
True.
And it's like, okay, you get everything you need here. It's morning, let's get a little frappuccino. Let's go. It's nighttime, we're playing pool, we're eating burgers and beers. Like, let's go. So I think it's
Yeah,
just,
in my head, it's a 24-hour.
yeah, it's a
place,
full
so that
service
makes sense.
everything. Like, you know, anything you could need, 24/7 diner type eat. Which was, it's wild to think about, and I wonder what this coffee tastes like. I gotta be honest.
I mean, apparently well enough that Luca did not notice whatever
Like
sleeping
roofie
pill
situation was going on in there.
Bonnie put in there. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's so fluffy and tastes like, you know, poison. Boom. Like, didn't even flinch, didn't even think about it. The coffee was too good.
That Bonnie, bless her heart.
Yeah.
She had really good intentions of trying to figure out, like, okay, how do we kill Klaus?
Yeah.
Because he's an original, so that's got to be tough.
And no one else here is doing any research about originals.
Right, exactly.
Gotta do everything ourselves.
And Luca's definitely not going to tell me.
Right.
So I gotta just figure it out on my own. But I thought that it's really nice to remember sometimes that they are high schoolers. Yeah. So that moment where Caroline was like, listen, we gotta get this done in like 90 minutes.
Right. My mom's coming home.
Before my mom comes home.
I gotta clean up around here. We got limited time, folks.
I thought it was really cute.
That whole thing was very fun of like, I mean, obviously it was like bad for Luca, and he was like very much like, hey, I will tell you, but if I tell you how originals work, like they will come after me, and I think I will definitely die. So just like keep that in mind before you make me say this, because you're gonna anyway. And Bonnie was like, for sure, noted. I will make you tell me. Good luck, buddy. And the gag is, which I find a little hard to believe, is that he will only be weakened once the sacrifice is already finished. So Elena has to die. Which, not sure about that, Bob. I don't know about that one. You know? What do you mean? And he doesn't even, is very vague about it too. He's just like, oh, he won't even say like that's how he'll die. He'll just be like, he'll be weaker. He'll be more vulnerable. It's like, okay, that also still does not help anyone with what they need.
What I deduced from that is that when Elena dies, his arms are cut off. His legs are cut off.
Yeah, he gets the true crime podcast treatment. That's how originals work.
Exactly.
So when he makes a successful sacrifice, then he will just combust into limbs.
Right.
Sure. Okay.
Yep. Also, lore drop while Bonnie was in Luca's brain, as if the originals needed to be scarier and also more fucked up. Klaus has one Luca's sister, so Luca has a sibling. because Luca's sister apparently is being forced to find a way to figure out how to like get the curse broken without the doppelganger. Mm-hmm. And then also Klaus has been making generations of witches work for him.
Yeah. He's got folks in every area code. You know what I mean? Like he's got everyone's number. Working. So
that's rude.
Yeah.
First of
Calls
all,
coming from inside the
my
house.
guy.
Yeah. What the fuck, man?
Sounds nasty to me, my guy.
Yeah.
The other thing that I thought was really cute was that little, because we started off right with the sleepover ending.
Yeah.
But that little girl talk moment with Caroline and Bonnie.
So cute. Her being like, hey, listen, you're a witch and I'm a vampire. We're not really in any place to judge people with our dating lives. And we should just go for it. I was like, aw, they can still have girl talk, even when they're, you know, supernatural. It's very cute.
I thought it was really nice, too, because especially the way that this season started with them, to know that they're getting into a place where they can have those light conversations about the people that they are was really sweet.
And the conversation with Bonnie and Jeremy was so cute because she's like still in her like, hey, I saw you as like a kid and I've known you as a kid and you're like my friend's kid brother. And like I saw all of your phases. I like how she called his like his drug phase, which was truly just him coping with the death of both of his parents at once. But sure, yeah, totally.
Made light of that.
Yeah, right. That's always fun, you know? And being like, your emo phase, ha ha ha. And then says that he overnight, you know, turned into a hot man. And she says all these things, like, there's all these reasons I shouldn't do this, whatever. And he's just, like, immediately, like, as he hears that, his ears perk up. He's like, you think I'm hot? And it's the cutest thing. Like, you can tell, like, the smile is, like, all the way up to his eyes. It's crazy. He's like, hell yeah, I won. Let's go. Like, I got her.
Green light. Got it. Go.
Yeah, I'm not going to think about too much of all the other stuff that you said. That seems like it's bad. I heard that, and that's good. Let's run with that. That sounds awesome.
Her saying wow after they kissed, I was on cloud nine.
Yeah, it's cute.
It's cute. It's not going to work. It's not going to last, but it's cute.
Let them have a moment, you know?
And if they're happy,
things get tragic.
If they're happy, then I'm happy. That's all that matters. We have to talk about Damon. He had so much sass this episode, and that's really fucked up because he was knocking on death's door this episode.
Yeah, he did not really have a lease on life last episode.
I will say I was surprised because I fully thought that he killed that newscaster.
Yeah, same, but damn.
I mean, I'm proud. Of him for not doing it, and I'm proud of him and Rick having gossip time at the end where Rick was like, hey buddy, please don't kill her, Jenna likes her.
Yeah, she's like a good friend. And like, I'm already lying to everyone I know about things, so like, can we just be chill? Can we just, you know?
Side note,
also,
by
Damon
the way,
calling it like Action News when that is not the name of the television program is very good to me. It's very fun.
I can't. Did you think, by the way, by the end of this episode, that Jenna is, like, finally starting to get suspicious?
God, because she gets, you know, tipped off by fucking John, and is like, oh, you should ask your boyfriend about his dead wife. Heavy quotes on dead. And she's like, interesting. And now, you know, Rick is out here being... He's like, I'm sorry I fell asleep. Oops. Ooh. Like, I'm just so sweepy. I'm so eepy. And she's like, interesting. So maybe she gets a clue. Maybe she's understanding. Or at least gonna start putting some pieces together here.
She's just gonna go the wrong direction and think that he's, like, still with his wife and not that...
Right, that there's, like, a larger picture. Yeah.
Oh, Jenna. I need to know your opinion on Elijah and Damon.
Okay, can I say,
Can I say something?
The sexual tension here is wild. I was like, are they gonna kiss? I was blushing. I was like, what the? Yeah. Like, first of all, Damon was already, like, in a pretty compromised position because he's, like, all chained up and bloody, which, like, hot, right? Objectively. And not having a good time. Right. And then Klaus just, like, saunters on in here. It's like, oh, you're looking for this little stone? And then just, like, hand combats kills almost every vampire in this room, or, like, at least stuns them and knocks them down. He's like, don't fuck with me. Yeah.
And
For sure. Which is incredible. I love that. And he, like, unchains him and stuff. He's like, you know, this is, like, not the first time I've saved your life. Like, we gotta stop doing this. And I was like, are these guys gonna kiss right now? Hello?
It was so much. And just Rick's over there, like, full on dead.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, Rick is on the floor, fully out. And that's no good. But jeez.
And they'd already had like a full on thing earlier,
yes,
right?
Right.
Where he like cracks Damon's bones and told him, like, show some respect because the moment that you cease to be of use to me, you're dead. Yeah. And had, like, stabbed him with a pencil too and then, like, dipped out or whatever.
Sure.
And so when he comes in, he's like, this is the third time I've saved your life. Embarrassing.
Yeah. God.
There are dead people all over, hearts strewn everywhere. And Damon, him staring up at Elijah, God, being like, it's so annoying that you have saved me, but also you don't have a scratch on you, and you just bodied, like, 8 people.
Right.
It was so thick in the air.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard to ignore.
And I don't know if that was Damon or Ian, to
right.
be honest.
Yeah, I think they were both locked in. There's something going on.
It's shocking how much Elijah scares me, but also I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. You're very intimidating and beautiful. Yeah. I don't know that I like that. I feel that after you've just ripped out people's hearts. But okay, got it.
Yeah.
It is, I'm very interested to continue seeing Damon and Elijah interact.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Bonnie passed on that information to Stefan and Damon, who Damon seemed more upset about it initially than Stefan did. Yeah. Next week, we have the dinner party, and it does seem like we're going to get some more flashback, like, past context.
Bring back the sepia, baby.
And it looks like we're going to get more feral Stefan.
Oh, gosh.
Which I'm nervous about.
Yeah, it's always an omen.
It's always a very bad omen. Especially since, like, we're leaving on a note of Jules and Tyler riding off, and it wasn't the sunset, it was already dark. So
sure.
I'm curious where we're going with this. But we're more than halfway through this season.
That's so wild. Which
makes me very nervous. We have some amazing patrons to thank. Do you want to start us off?
Thank you to Sean Salvatore.
Ooh, thank you to Megan Pattinson.
Ow. Thank you to Katya Karp.
Ooh, thank you to Ashlyn Vogel.
Ooh, thank you to Genevieve Morgan.
Ooh, thank you to Danielle Burke.
Ow. Thank you to Janaea Bennett.
Ooh, thank you to Sophia Salinger.
Ooh, thank you to Dan Zeklos.
Ooh, and last but certainly not least, thank you to Emily Ozera.
Pew, 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 pew.
So this is a fan fiction that I have for you.
Oh no.
It is by the author Nemo_R.
Okay.
It is titled I've Lost Myself Again. The summary is Damon doesn't want to be the strongest person in the room. Damon wants the strongest person in the room.
Okay.
And it is It's all one chapter. This starts off for you right after the moment where Elijah says, "You realize this is the third time I've saved your life now."
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Damon raised his eyebrows, holding his head still against the collar. "Are you expecting a thank you?" Elijah shrugged, reaching down to pick up the chains, curling them around his bloody hands. "Might be nice." Damon just stared, gaze dropping down to the chains in Elijah's hand. The clink as the links struck each other. He moved in towards Damon, wrapping them tighter, pulling just a little on the collar, the wooden nails scraping against the wounds, and Damon hissed in a breath, eyes flicking up to meet Elijah. He was smirking, that familiar king to his lips, as if the world never failed to amuse. He leaned forward, moving right up close, raised his other hand and scraped his nails down Damon's neck, Damon's breath hitching as his fingertips sank into the wounds. "Don't." "Don't what?" Elijah's breath brushed his cheek, voice soft, eyes on the wounds, not on Damon's face. Damon bit his tongue, didn't say anything else. Elijah's eyes flickered to Damon's, inscrutable. Then he moved his hand, fingers slipping swiftly between the stakes, and he tugged sharply, the wooden nails digging in the back of Damon's neck for a second before falling away as the metal collar tore apart in Elijah's grip. He let the contraption fall to the floor by Damon's feet and looked down at Damon, chain wrapped by the chair, metal loop over his torso, his legs, and arms. "They really took no chances with you." Damon shrugged awkwardly. "I have a rep." End scene.
Okay.
So apparently we're not the only ones.
Yeah, and
is what I'll say.
Yeah, right. We are all connected. We all are on the right side of history. We see the vision.
There are, from what I can tell, at least on Archive of Our Own, 79 other works that agree that there's at least something between these two.
God.
So enjoy, my friends, if that is your particular fancy. But I need to see these two interact more, because Ian does wonders in these moments, I'll say. Yeah. Well, friends, tell your friends about the show. And as we say here in the Pacific Northwest,
get bit.
Ooh.
Oh.
Into the Twilight is an Earbud Media production. You can follow us on Twitter at Into the Twilight or on TikTok at Into the Twilight Show. You can find me at Cody Corral on Twitter and Allie at Alexandria Does. And you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/IntoTheTwilight. We have merch, so much stuff. All those links are in the episode description. And make sure to rate and review us on your favorite podcast hosting platform. It really helps the show. Thanks. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media, audio for everyone.